This is Mark Soden for Santa Ana Noise Fest 13, and I'm here with Steve Davis.
My name is Steve Davis, and I live in Sudbury, Massachusetts.
All right, we're going to start with my favorite origin story question, and that is, what was the sound that you heard all those years ago that sent you down the path to where you are now with noise?
It's kind of hard to say. I mean, I really like stuff like in their mid '80s, early '80s. Stuff like Sonic Youth. And they used some of the feedback. And then there was some other bands, like Live Skull and the Swans. I'd say those bands kind of maybe kind of got me interested in stuff that wasn't like quote unquote like musical. And then I think when I lived in Japan, in the late '80s is when I really discovered stuff. I saw firsthand, people like Mazana, and the Boredoms, which they weren't really noise, but Mazana obviously is. So that was when I just said, that's it, I want to do that. I always play music and I always will play music, but I really, really love just the wild sonic mayhem of the noise back then.
Do you have a piece of gear that you were going to use for Santa Ana Noise Fest 13 that you find inspiring and would like to tell us about?
Well, I already made the video. So the recording, the audio is from an upcoming CD. It's going to be coming out soon. And I can't think of anything. I recently was, there's a guy out here, well, in Buffalo called Martin Freeman, and he makes these really crazy, devices. And I used some of his kind of glitchy, this thing's called a pipsqueak. I used that, which I think it was one of the main, or one of the sounds that's kind of playing through the track that I sent to you guys. I like the kind of, I like the heavy, bassy stuff, but I also like to add, some kind of high end kind of electronic-y sounding things, glitchy stuff. So I think
Cool.
that might be the stuff that was in this thing I sent for the Santa Ana Fest.
You are a producer and you put on shows, and I'm going to ask you what the noise scene is like in your area, but I kind of wanted you to tell us about what you're promoting out there as well.
Well, it's funny. I moved back here from California, like 5.5 years ago, and I've been gone for like 18 years. And in that 18 years, the scene here, really, really, really took off. I mean, so when I came back, I really only knew Ron Lassard, from Triple R Records, and I knew Dan Greenwood from Diagram A, and Bill Miller, who's a local guy, Bill T. Miller, and that was about it. So I kind of met all these wonderful people here, and there's just an incredible scene here. It's unbelievable, like between Boston and Worcester and Western Massachusetts and, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Connecticut, Rhode Island, all the New England area is just this really incredible scene, which didn't exist basically, 15, 18 years ago, so that's been unbelievable. It's sort of like when I went to California, I didn't know really anybody. And then, I met, besides you, I met, Lob and so many great people. So, I mean, it's kind of like that in reverse coming back home here, so it was really neat, nice to see. So, and with the shows, I mean, I put on some shows here, there's a couple of places in Boston that let us put on streaming shows, and some places out in Western Massachusetts have had like live shows recently, but it's been, tough with the COVID stuff, I'm sure, obviously, so yeah, I have a couple. Nothing right now. I put on a couple of shows this fall, and I've just been doing some releases for some bands. And actually, I have a package over there in the other room to send to you of some stuff. So uh, I've been doing a lot of releases, and the shows. Here it's a little different than California. For me personally, I'm an old guy. I don't really want to deal with the weather, so I kind of don't know how many more shows I'll be putting on until like maybe the spring. I have a show next month. I'm playing with some local noise bands, and that might be the last one unless something comes up. I'm not sure.
I heard, didn't you do a thing at the Firehouse?
Yeah, I played there last week. Yeah, I played there a week ago, Sunday. There, that place is, I don't know. It's weird. I'm not sure what's going to happen with there as far as shows inside. They've been having outside shows, and I'm hoping. I did a big this Northeast Noise Fest a couple of times there, and it was fantastic. And so I'm hoping that maybe next year, if they would, let us do it again inside, because it would be, obviously nice to. I don't want to torment the neighborhood too bad, too much.
Yeah, the Firehouse, and I know the Northeast. What time of year are you planning on promoting the Northeast Noise Fest?
I'm thinking like late summer, maybe August or something. We haven't. It's kind of a matter of if we can find a nice place to put it on. I have a
Right,
couple of friends from here going to help me out. Worcester is nice because it's kind of convenient for people in New England. It's kind of central, But I'm open to anything, And this year, obviously, we did it all in video and stuff. And next year, I'd like to do probably in reality probably be something like a hybrid thing, like some live stuff, and then have a day with maybe just pre-recorded videos, so people like that, like you and people who can't come out here, can send me something, and we'll do like the NorCal Noise Fest did, like half
right.
and half. So we'll
Yeah.
see. I'm open to doing everything. You know.
The last question is, how do you prepare for a performance?
Well, it's funny because I've been doing it for such a long time, and have so many things that I would use or could use that I don't know. I try not to do too many things back to back. Like if I do one setup, one show, the next one I would probably do mostly use different things.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, what I would do, like say I have a show next month, so what I'll probably do is pick out a couple of pedals that I want to use, and I usually I'm kind of old school. I have everything in a bag with the pedals and the cables all loose, so I have to make a lot of notes to which I want to use for what what the setup's going to be, what connecting with what.
Right, right, right.
But yeah, I mix it up. I try to use different things, not just, 2 times in a row, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, in the old days, did a lot of, it was much simpler. The setup like 30 years ago was basically a contact, I mean, not even a contact mic, like a distortion pedal and a delay and a mic taped to a piece of metal and the bass. That was about it.
it.
So now it's all these like things that, these kind of, there's so many people, making really cool stuff, besides the major companies, like just, you know, independent pedal makers or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it does seem like the circuitry world has exploded.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people. Anybody out there that you would recommend checking out for making unique stuff that caught your eye?
Well, Trogatronics is a great guy.
Oh
He's
yeah.
out in California, and there's a guy that I recently found out about, Molasses Industries. They're and Martin Freeman makes incredible stuff. He makes incredible things. And his stuff is really good. And yeah, those guys are people that I've recently got some stuff from.
Well, thank you, Steve. I just wanted to mention that out here, you started the Wonder Valley Experimental Festival, and thank you for doing that. And we keep pushing it along and seeing
No,
where it goes.
it's
And
great. I thanks for taking it over. And I want to, my plan, and I don't have a bucket list per se, in my life, but one of my plans is to get out and play at the Palms and scream Sibley's. So as loud as I can. And so I don't know about this next year, but we'll see. I definitely might. It's on my list to get out to Wonder Valley again. I love that place, and thanks. I'm so glad that you've taken it, and it's so awesome every year. I haven't. I know last year I sent a video, but every year I see the lineup, and I'm so happy that you kept it going. It's fantastic.
well, thank you, and thank you for starting it
Oh,
because it has been a fabulous thing. And
it was one of those things that just it just it was kind of an accidental miracle, as they say. Finding that place and everything. So
indeed, well, thank you again.
well,
And
thanks.
this is Mark Soden for Santa Ana Noise Fest 13 with Steve Davis signing off.